Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today for what will be episode, I think we're on 9 now, of Banghead Financial. I'm, of course, Gregor Guy, joined here by Mr. Casey and Mr. Cuz. How you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
Lovely. It is obviously the first of the year, beginning of the year, so we're starting the new year. Anyway.
Well, 2022.
I just thought that's worth pointing out. As far as markets go, the U.S. market has basically been sideways all week. Not a whole lot usually happens at the end of the year. The crypto total market cap is sitting at 2.23 trillion, which is down a little bit from last week. Bitcoin sitting at 47.4, and ETH is sitting at 37.40 at the time of this recording, obviously. As I was stating before, not really a whole lot going on. Kind of boring week, but that's also to be expected at the end of the year. The only thing that does happen toward the end of the year is this concept called tax harvesting. Are you familiar with this?
No.
Okay. Apparently, you can. Okay, now it also works different on stock market and crypto. So, what a lot of people do, in order to make their pay less in taxes and everything, is they'll sell an asset at a loss and write that off as a loss. Now, in the stock market, you can't rebuy that asset, I believe, for like 30 days or 31 days. But I'm fairly certain, and I will also verify this when I speak with the crypto CPA that I've reached out to, that you can, being that the crypto market isn't regulated yet, that you can sell the asset and then buy it back like that day in order to record that loss. But, I mean, that'll all change and everything when they regulate it, of course,
Yeah, that seems like it can be exploited.
Yeah, but, I mean, at this time, it is still perfectly legal, but, like I said, that will also be one of the things that when regulations do come down, I'm fairly certain will be addressed. Fair enough. So,
so when are they going to implement these regulations? And you say that they were...
Well, I believe, we talked about that a little bit last week. I believe Senator Loomis was planning on introducing a bill in 2022.
Nothing new about it or anything?
Haven't heard anything about it, but it's, from what I understand, it's supposed to be a comprehensive, crypto regulation bill. So I assume that we'll have to see what they propose, but I imagine they'll try and make it more in line with stock market regulations and everything like that.
So that's basically what it is.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. Anyway,
I would say regulation laws are severely behind when it comes to anything technology. When it comes to social media companies, when it comes to crypto, anything online is the regulation-wise is severely behind.
And that's why I'm really interested to see, what comes in through this bill, because, like you said, I've said this before. I believe that crypto needs its own set of regulations because it is like so much more, technologically advanced than, just like, trading on the stock market.
The stock market's been around for what, 100 plus years, probably longer.
Yeah, probably more. I think 18.
And there's still problems with that. They should have been regulated 20, 30 years ago.
Right. Well, they're using regulations from like 1930.
Right. Well, look at the schooling system, too. Things just advance. The schooling system should have been updated. It's been around for the Industrial Revolution until now, but everything's got to be upgraded, like the way they teach people.
Well, you update. You got to update, based on the times we are in.
Right.
At this day and age. So, I agree with that assessment. Also, like I said, not a whole lot of news this week, so I figured we just, have a discussion amongst ourselves of, maybe some predictions, maybe some things that'll happen in 2022. First one that comes to my mind is I believe that they will approve a spot Bitcoin ETF at some point in time in the year.
Explain.
A spot ETF. Any money in that exchange traded fund ETF that is a spot ETF. They already have futures, by the way, but you don't actually have to physically hold Bitcoin in that fund. So they'll have the money in there. They have to have enough Bitcoin to cover the money that is in the fund. So it will be held somewhere, in one of these companies, wallets or whatever. But that will probably lead to a good amount of money coming into the, space, we'll say. So that's one that I'm almost certain is probably going to happen next year.
I think I got a prediction that housing costs are going to skyrocket, rent is going to skyrocket, and there's going to be a whole lot of problems.
Well, okay. You were telling me something earlier. Why don't you go ahead and explain that a little bit?
Right now, corporations are buying up not just, but a lot of single-family homes, and they're setting the prices. They're setting the prices on rent, and they're setting the prices on the homes, and they're overvalued.
Right. Well, I mean, kind of what I took what you said was their plan. It kind of seemed like that they were more or less trying to get to the point where,
a normal family,
normal families and everything were renting instead of owning their homes.
Normal families are not going to be able to afford to buy homes.
Yeah. I mean, I would have to look into that more.
I
literally, that was the first time I heard.
I mean, it's been trending. I mean, this is what happened in the cities. This is why only wealthy people can live in cities, is because that's what was happening before. Is corporations are buying up all the housing, and then they're setting the prices. It doesn't actually cost that much money to rent a home in New York City. It only costs that much because the corporation or the company that owns the property. And that does have a little bit to do with gentrification. They just raise the price of living in the area, so only people of a certain class can live in that that home or rent that apartment.
I think it's inevitable for us, not us, but I'm just saying, more people rent continually as we move forward and own houses. So I think that's going to be the norm at some point in time. I
think that needs to be somehow regulated, because you would think that back in the day, not back in the day, but years ago, maybe 40, 50 years ago, somebody that worked at a gas station would be able to afford, at the very least, a small home.
Right.
And nowadays, a person at a gas station, be lucky, he'll be probably on welfare, using a Section 8 to live in an apartment.
With a roommate.
Right, with a roommate. So things are definitely going downhill for lower class, lower middle class, and middle class families.
Yeah. And inflation is not helping that. That's for sure.
No.
All right. Let's see, another prediction. I believe at some point in time, I'll even refine this one. I believe that at some point in time in the first 6 months of 2022, I think Bitcoin will hit $100,000. Per quarter.
Quarter one?
No. I said first half of the year. So by the end of quarter two.
Okay. What's that prediction based off of?
Because I'm just looking at a lot of the on-chain metrics and everything right now, and it's with the most recent corrective phase that it has gone through, it is set up to have a monstrous rally. I believe. Obviously not financial advice. This video is for entertainment purposes only.
Now, I have another question for the blockchain.
Sure.
So,
I'll try and answer it.
For the mining aspect of it.
Okay, now I don't know a whole lot about mining. But.
Well, you know how they get X amount for the mining process? Like, they actually get resources for their contribution.
Yes.
Eventually, it's all going to be mined.
Yes.
What's going to happen to the blockchain once it's all mined? Or are those people going to still get some type of crypto for doing their...
Well, Bitcoin's kind of an exception because it's basically like a store of value. You know, think a lot of people compare Bitcoin to like digital gold. There's arguments to be made on both sides and everything, but they believe that the last Bitcoin will be mined somewhere around February of 2140. And I don't... Now, as far as like a blockchain, that's more of like a network is the way I understand it. That would fall into more like Ethereum's, you know, your Solana's, your Polkadot, you know, so on and so forth.
But it costs money to run those rigs.
Yes.
For mining. Eventually, they're going to start getting into the part where they're either breaking even or they're going to go into the negative. What's going to happen then? Is the blockchain going to fall apart? Because no one's going to want to do it.
Well, no. I mean, there'll still be, you know, Bitcoin out there to be mined, but the question is, what is the price of Bitcoin going to be 10 years from now?
Compared to the energy and the cost of the rig.
Yeah.
I did want to say that even Ethereum, which is being mined right now, which is the most popular mined coin.
And so 2.0 comes out.
Yeah, Ethereum 2.0 is going to come out, and you're not going to be able to mine it anymore. And it's just going to be based on the market.
Well, no, then it'll be the total supply already out there.
Right. And then,
there is... I guess they could add
and then the market can basically fluctuate out.
Yeah. There is other coins out there that can still be mined. And the fact that people are going to be mining those coins are going to... it could raise the cost of those coins. So you can still make a small profit off those coins even at this time, but just not as much as Ethereum. That's why Ethereum is more popular. But the fact that people might be moving on to those other coins, I think Raven's coin's one of them.
I think Helium is another.
Yeah. But just the fact that people might start mining and dealing in those coins might raise the cap value on those coins.
Yeah. It's going to, but
right.
The question is what gets built on top of a blockchain or network, in depending on use case and everything. That's where the real value comes in.
All right.
Because I'm not going to go too much into it, but there's this thing called Metcalfe's law that they use this complex, mathematical equation to determine the value of a network. Maybe we'll save that for a future episode. Let's see. You have any predictions you want to toss out there?
Well, I've been looking at the NFTs lately.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I personally, I understand what they are and everything, but I don't understand the value, the valuation to get, associated with some of them.
Yeah, this is what I see. Like, obviously, I just started looking into them. So, you know how the younger generation will pay absurd amount of money for a skin in the video game? That's the way that I kind of see it.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can see that.
Because you don't really own it. It's like a terms of service, so the person that you buy it off of still has the...
right, and then when you sell it, they get a percentage.
Yeah, and they can use it. And
right,
as... Unless you wanted to sell the original copy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you can have X amount, like, if you get really into the NFTs, you can just sell, like, 101. Right? Some people sell, like, 30 of the same picture or whatever. And then the market will go up and down based on how popular
It's basically digital art.
Yeah, it's digital art. There's no real value there unless you own like a physical copy or the original copy.
Well, I mean, value is based on demand.
Yeah, that's true.
Or it's in the eye of the beholder. Like
Right.
you made the reference to like a skin in a video game.
Right.
Well, you can't sell that skin to someone else, though. I mean,
Right.
that's the thing, man.
That's true.
There is. I know on Rust, at least the video game, that if you buy a skin on Rust, you can sell that skin to somebody else.
Okay, like a marketplace or something.
Right. You can sell it right off of Steam. You can gift it, or you can gift it, but it's technically not a gift. It's not like Steam is making money off of it, but you can like have somebody send you money over some other platform for the skin, and then you can give it to them.
I also seen a video, like, there was, you remember the CSGO skins and stuff people were doing?
That is big business.
Yeah,
CS:GO
there was a skin
especially.
for, I forget what game, and you could literally buy the skin for, like, I forget how much, it was like $10 or something like that. It equated out to $10, and somebody bought the skin off somebody else for $450.
Right.
Same skin you could go and buy. So I don't understand why people just throw their crypto away like that, but hey.
As with business, there's winners and losers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact that that person had that much crypto to begin with, if they're
Right.
just throwing it around,
Right.
unless they just,
I mean,
inherited money or something.
there's people out there. I mean, you got like, say some, I don't know, some rich business guy goes to a restaurant and tips the waiter or waitress like $2,000, $15,000, something ridiculous. But they have that kind of money. That's just toss away money.
Yeah.
You for I mean, even that waiter, that might be like half of what they make throughout the entire year if you're giving them $15,000.
Yeah, that's true.
But even if I was, I don't know, I have a different outlook on it. Like, even if I was rich, I would probably do that once in a while. Just to be, but I wouldn't, like, just frivolously fucking throw my money away just because.
Well, you have to. We also have to remember that where we start out in society. You know what I mean? Where we start out, we're like I'd say we're all start out lower middle class probably, or somewhere in there.
middle,
Right.
lower middle class.
But somebody that was born into like wealth, you know what I mean? Money means less to them than it does to us, and it always has and it always will. They just don't understand the value of a single dollar. They understand that you have to buy stuff with it, but they don't understand what that money can mean to a person of a lower social status than them.
But at the same point in time, I had this thought. What if you got into like Ethereum, 4 years ago when I don't know what it was, but let's say it was like, or whenever it was like $30 or whatever. Now it's worth almost $4,000. Imagine if you had just had a whole bunch. At some certain point in time, it goes to the thing. What if you just can't spend that much money? And you're just doing frivolous things with it.
Yeah.
That's a thought I had.
But I don't know. I guess it depends on the person. Because if I had that much money, I would make use of it, like helping people or something. Like, I wouldn't buy skins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
I get the digital art
Yeah.
thing, I guess, because we are in a technological age. But not actually owning, basically doing a terms of service like we do with video games.
Right.
I heard somewhere, I can't remember where it was, but I've heard somewhere that there's when it comes to money, there's two different types of people. There's people that are consumers their whole life, and there's people that are investors their whole life, and you can figure out which one ends up on top. You know what I mean? Somebody that just frivolously buys stupid things.
Consumer investor, which one are you?
Right.
Let us know down in the
Consumer
comments below.
investor. That sounds like you said it as like a
No, I said consumer
consuming
or
investor.
investor. Let us know down in the comments below. I got one more prediction for the year. I believe that blockchain gaming is going to take off, and it's going to take off in a big way
Right.
with these play-to-earn games. I believe there are some out now. I haven't, visually messed around with any of these yet. I haven't seen any, product or anything. But I think that you're going to see more and more and more of them pop up, coming, probably even more toward like the end of 2022.
Right. They're going to start gaining traction.
Right. Especially if you can, make a living playing a game.
There's a lot of people out there that
are already doing it. Yeah. So, like I said, I believe they're going to become more popular.
Like the evolution of a streamer.
Something like that.
Well, it's been, for example, EVE Online, which has been around for like almost 20 years, that people make a living just by playing the game. They can buy and sell different items on the game. They in fact, there's actual like admirals. Basically, they're basically their faction pays them to just be an admiral in the game. Because for strategy and stuff like that.
So they just sit at like a table and
they sit in front of their computer and they tactically place their military within the game, which each person is an actual vehicle that's stationed, and they do mining. There's you gotta guard the warps, warp drive. I don't know. I'm probably way off on the terminology, but there's different places you can warp for traveling from one place to another, and you have to defend that so that people don't take your spaces.
Right, but also at the same point in time, that's just a group of people paying somebody.
Right.
Right. I mean, with the play to earn games, you play the game, do whatever, and
Well, what do you think the miners are?
They give you crypto.
Right. Well, what do you?
That you can then sell for fun.
Basically, they want to consume your time.
Right.
Kind of what games have been doing anyway, gradually. They want to make sure that you're constantly playing so that those numbers show.
And the feeling that you're earning money while you're doing it is probably even more addictive.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's profitable, like if you're good at it and efficient at it,
right,
it could probably be profitable for most like casual gamers and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, but I do think you're going to see an adoption curve on that's going to be pretty significant.
I'm curious to see how it goes because I want to see the beginning stages because they're going to jump on it real quick if there's an exploit of some sort.
Well, I know for a fact they got Axie Infinity that's already out, and I think they're claiming something crazy like 2.8 million, players. It was either month or a week. I don't know. I have to look at the article again. But it was a ridiculous number, and what do you get for players on a game on like Steam or something?
Yeah.
I can't tell you that. I don't know all the ins and outs on it, but
I don't either. But I'm going to try and learn a little bit more about it because it's an interesting concept to me.
We all three play video games.
Yep.
So it's something that should pique your interest a little bit.
Yeah.
I know that World of Warcraft has a subscription on it. It's like $15 a month or something like that. And I used to play. I don't play it anymore, but I never paid a subscription fee. I played the game. I earned gold within the game. I used the gold to buy a WoW token, and then I used the WoW token to buy a month.
Man, imagine if we get paid. Ken's going to do a lot of fishing.
Anyway. That was very insightful. You got anything else? You got any other predictions? Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here for what will be episode 9 of Banghand Financial. Talked about predictions for the new year, 2022 now. I'm, of course, Gregor Guy, depending on how you know me, joined here by Mr. Coz and Mr. Casey. Everyone out there watching, have a lovely day.